Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Press Review this morning. AJ, how are you?
I'm good, IJ. You're looking glamorous this morning.
Thank you.
It's like
and
you had
too.
a wonderful weekend. It's written all over you.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, let's not talk about that. Welcome. It's a Press Review on Good Morning Anambra, Monday morning edition. My name is Ijoma.
And I'm Ajulu Okabwe.
Okay, good to have you here. Ajulu, where do we start?
Well, we'll start as usual with the news making the headlines on ABS website. And that will be what we'll be bringing to you after this break. Just sit down, get your hot cup of tea, and then relax while the press review comes your way.
Or you sip your water.
Glad to have you back. And now let's begin with the news making the headlines on ABS website. And the first news we have for you this morning is Soludo optimistic Oborgo market will be reopened in 10 days. We have CP Orotugu takes Governor Soludo on facility assessment of rapid response squad formation in Okuzu. Anambra Accountant General Okoli laud ABS on public enlightenment service. Anambra State government calls for collective action towards integrating restorative justice into legal system. Traders debunk rumor of stealing of allied building materials market Uyi without providing alternative site. Members of Solution for Good Governance inaugurated in Awka. And we have Anambra State government trains MDAs on Solution Lens digital platform. And then we also have NLC asks IMF World Bank to halt money lending to unacceptable government. Tinubu grants Ministry of State for Health waiver to recruit more health workers. And on the foreign scene, we have Ukraine President Zelensky offers to resign for country to join NATO military alliance.
Uh-oh.
Well, that's coming from that's the latest development in that area. Serap drags CBN to court over decision to increase ATM transaction fees. And then we have Syria, that's talking football, this time sports. Ademola Lookman shines as Atalanta beat Empoli 5-0. And then we have Pope Francis 6 prayers as he battles double pneumonia. That's all we have for you on the ABS website. Well, let's begin with the last note, the story there, talking about the Pope. Well, wish him speedy recovery as he battles pneumonia. Well, we know what pneumonia can do to people his age. Well, we'll all wish him the very best.
Yeah. Okay, let's now get up to the first story. Soludo optimistic Oborgo markets will be reopened in 10 days. There have been so many stories concerning the Oborgo Sega, not just in Onitsha, in Aba, in Idumota, in so many areas where they sell drugs. And then recently, the NAFDAC boss, Christiana, was saying that what they're doing is in accordance with the provision for their job, okay, whereby they are doing this to save lives, not witch hunting anybody, not trying to bring down your business. You say we shut down your business. No, we are trying to save lives. That's what she said as she was conducted around the Idumota markets. Yes, I mean, was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? No, on Saturday.
On Saturday.
Yes, just like we have pointed out in some of the things that we have read, how come people are this mean? Because some people were asking, why must we shut down every other market, allied markets around that Oborgo? But we discovered now some of these drugs, some of these drug dealers have their packing stores or warehouses in these markets, okay, like the Obosisi and all the other places.
Other markets around there.
And you keep wondering, how can we pin you guys down so that you do the right thing? AJ, your brothers, They're disturbing us.
Our brothers. Well, I think the government needs to clamp down because let's say substandard drugs. Some of them might not even be substandard, but they are not under proper, medical, let's say packaging, and at the same time preservation. You go to the market, especially that Obogwa, you see drugs being displayed right under the sun, and it drops the efficacy, the potency of some of those drugs. There are drugs that are not even meant to be exposed to direct sunlight. I don't know if these people don't even understand.
They don't understand because most of them did not go to school.
But for them to operate, they need to get license from PSN.
License?
Yeah.
What is license? What do you mean by license?
Of course. You need to have a pharmaceutical backing.
It's an open market where you buy and sell.
Yes. In order for you to import most of these drugs, they need to have a
let's begin from the beginning, because what I saw this morning really hurt me so badly. That some of those drugs they saw are the ones, the injection that's supposed to be in the refrigerator.
Yes.
They were displayed in the market, just like you said. And then some were retroviral drugs that's supposed to be free. They stored it and they're selling it. And some were, condoms, expired condoms. Okay? When you are trying to prevent disease, prevent sicknesses by using condom, and then you are using the one that expired 2022, 3 years ago. And then they even saw the machine where they're using to change the date from the expired date to 2028. How can you be this wicked to your own people, to humanity? Okay, I said, let's just begin from the beginning. How did these drugs get into this country? Well, because it's not just about talking about the traders.
Yeah. That's why I said it's, a conglomerate of bad policing, right from the issuance, where you guys are importing it. And mind you, we have standard organization in most of these countries where these drugs do come in. But what happens? They just turn a blind eye, you understand, to these drugs getting their way into Nigeria. And when they come here, the same, like I got to understand that most of these importers have pharmaceutical backings. So the issue is that the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria is equally indicted in this, proliferation of fake drugs.
But is the PSN that joined NAFDAC in this trade?
That is what I'm saying. But then at the same time, we still have the bad eggs amongst them, just like you have in every organized sector. You will definitely have unscrupulous elements who are seeking their own personal gain rather than the welfare and the well-being of the country at large. It's just so unfortunate until we are serious about this thing, and either we close down some people's business and send them packing once and for all.
So
where
do you bring in the custom officers?
The cost of a life lost. The cost of a life lost in taking fake drugs is not just that person that dies. It sends a negative ripple effect across board. The hospital where that person was administered that took the drug will definitely go in for it, because it will seem as if the hospital didn't do their check in order to prevent such drugs from coming in. But some of these drugs are the replica of the fake and the original, you hardly can differentiate if you don't have that microscopic eye or the knowledge of what the original looks like. So now the question is, if you can perfect the act, you understand, of replicating what is fake, go the extra mile and make the real one. And
sell it expensively.
Exactly, and then save lives.
Buy it and save lives. But I want us to look at the entrance of this drug into this country. You talked about them having, the countries where they're coming from.
We have standard organization
everywhere. Fine. Some of these drugs have been, certified good for consumption. But Nigeria say we don't want this. It's contraband. Don't allow this coming to this country. And it still came into the country. Through where? How?
That is why I said it's a conglomerate. There's an armada of corruption happening in entry and exit of goods into this country. Until we take serious things, until we would major in the major things and leave away mediocrity, we definitely won't get it right in this aspect.
This corruption is hydra-headed indeed. Okay, let's move on. What other story will you like us to talk about?
Well, the NLC asks IMF, World Bank to halt money lending to unacceptable governments. Sincerely speaking, I think it's not a case of NLC making this to IMF, but then the issue is that IMF, World Bank, and other Paris Club and the rest of it, all these international organizations are out there to make money, and even the Chinese government too. They are out there to make money. So if you don't get your act together, definitely you will be, sabotaging so changing the future of your generations unborn with some of these loans that are being collected and the actual reason why these loans are being collected are not implemented. When you collect loan as a businessman, definitely you're going to plow it into the business so that it generates the interest where you can save some for yourself and then you keep some to repay the loans. But that doesn't happen in the case of my dear country, Nigeria. What we do is just go out, list out what we need these funds for. We go collect the money, and 10 to 20% of that money doesn't even enter into the project these monies were collected for in the first place. And that's why we have this backlog of, debt that we are serving. You will see subsequent government coming and telling us the debt package that they have to tackle and deal with. It's really, really unfair. It seems as if Nigerians are the ones making life so difficult for Nigerians. I don't think when the colonial masters had us here in this part of the world, we had much problem with debt servicing and the rest of it all. Like somebody was even saying the other time that what has democracy actually brought to the table compared to what our colonial masters?
Corruption, corruption, corruption.
So,
okay.
Well, you want to talk about the Ukraine president?
No, I want us to talk about Sarah dragged CBN to court over decision to increase ATM transaction fees first before we get to that one. Okay.
There are positives to this CBN monetary, the increase in transaction fees. There are positives to it, and the positive to say is, as a customer, you understand you're dealing with a particular bank. When you want to do transactions, try as much as you can in order to patronize your bank so as to reduce costs. And the other aspect of it is that we are not totally ready for what we call this stuff, internet banking. That's what this, what is it called? The decision to increase ATM transaction fees. Now, if you want to go to the market and you buy your regular vegetables and the rest of it all, how many of these grocery sellers do have POS or even have an account to even start with that you can make transfer?
You withdraw 20,000 and go to markets with. But the problem is the burden, the kind of inflation that this will bring. That's where I'm looking at.
Yeah. Then it's going to be hurrah for the
because
POS.
It's a vicious circle.
Yeah.
You hit him, I hit him,
yes.
he hits, and it continues.
It continues.
Okay, and then the poor masses bears the brunt at the end of the day. Okay, so why would you want to do this? Now that we're still grappling with a lot of problems in Nigeria, the fuel subsidy, what do you call it, telecommunication hike, PCN, what do you, power supply, what do they call it?
EEDC, this part of the world.
EEDC is Nigeria now, so what is it that they call themselves?
Discos and then the rest of it.
Okay, fine. Okay, all the hikes, 50%, 100%, 75% hikes, and then you are bringing in this one. I don't even know, what some analysts ask, do we have economic advisors at all? Even if you are beating a child, won't you allow him finish crying, the one you beat him in the morning before you beat him another one in the afternoon? Okay, let's have respite. Let's consider the people that we would have voted us to take to look after them. We didn't vote you to come and give us burden. They make us beast of burden every time. It is loading us with problems. You are trying to take respite from here, and they will bring another one. It's not going to end with this one. Another one is coming.
But then all I know is that the human mind, the human capacity has a limit. There is a limit to which man can no longer take, and then it's going to be an explosion.
We are limitless here, Nigeria.
No, definitely. So you think, but then
our shock absorber is expanding every day. So
until we get there. So let's see what we have for the first paper for review this morning.
Okay.
Talking about the Vanguard newspaper, and the banner headline is screaming: the APC Makinde war over Osun local government polls. And then we have NLC to IMF World Bank stop lending to unacceptable leaders. That was just what we read on the ABS website. And we have 600 billion naira worth of petrol in storage. That's coming from Dangote refinery. State of the nation, why Nigerians are angry. Ango Abdullahi saying that on page 14 of the Vanguard newspaper, you find that, and the writer there says, whether military or civilian regime, good governance is key. We don't need new states. That's coming from Ango Abdullahi. No to scrapping of NDDC, Ishekiri leaders tell Tinubu. And then we have sports, the 2026 World Cup qualifiers. setback for Chile as Super Eagles injury woes worsen. I hope that's not going to be an excuse for us not to win those matches. And then we have at the mast of the Vanguard newspaper, 1966 coup, IBB has vindicated Igbo, Ohaneze Chekwas Okore. That's coming from them. Ganduje, minister, bicker over Kanu APC chairmanship. Why I introduced SAP, that's Structural Adjustment Program, other policies, that's coming from Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida. And quickly, Ibrahim Babangida seems to be IBB seems to be the talk of the moment.
Yes, because he has made himself so. But we're going to look at that later. But let's look at the papers for want of time. The Punch newspaper is the next paper up for review this morning. And on top of the name template, we'll have some stories there that say tax reform, National Assembly engages caucus leaders as hearing begins. And then other stories still coming from that angle. We have enough fuel to meet Nigeria. Okay, I think we have seen that story. And then this other one here. Babangida justifies $12.4 billion Gulf oil windfall mismanagement despite Okibo reports. The banner headline and the Punch newspaper said, APC, PDP clash as El-Rufai woos opposition parties. This El-Rufai. Okay, with the writer there, ruling party berets Kaduna ex-governor for romancing PDP bigwigs, others. This is Nigerian politics. You are free to romance anybody, whether the person makes itself available to you. IG spokesman secretariat as Osun local government crisis rages. And then a stepfather, friend, arrested for impregnating 14-year-old in Lagos. Okay, the last story coming from here says Southwest governors lack power to stop Sharia's panel. This is coming from Para Church. Yeah, AJ.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. Tax reform, National Assembly engages caucus leaders as hearing begins. We're beginning to wonder what's happening there. But quickly, let's see what we have on the This Day newspaper. And then still talking about Dangote seems to be telling Nigerians where to go in order to get your fuel. But then, will government avail them the opportunity to? We have over 600 billion naira worth of petrol in stock, enough to meet in-country supply. And then we have IBB. We overthrew Buhari Idiagbon because of their holier-than-thou attitude. Wow. IJ, don't you think you need to go get that book in order to read a whole lot of this? I don't like the piece and piece of
Download it. It's online.
Okay. Alleges his predecessor was monitoring his calls, says Buhari's policies, leadership style too rigid. Discloses some governors elected in 1992 asked him to postpone presidential pool, yet alleged sits tight. Wow, regrets leaving Abacha behind to work with ING. Ohaneze demands federal government's apology, reparation over killing of 3 million Igbos during Biafra War. And then we have cementing economic ties. You can see the CBN governor there in Saudi Arabia. Trump hails Chancellor Olaf Scholz's election defeat as great day for Germany. That's all we have for you on the front pages of the This Day newspaper. And quickly.
Okay, Daily Independence. Nigeria visa applicants accuse South African embassy of corrupt practices. That story is on top of the name template. But the banner headline here says, that's Daily Independent, banner headline. MPC meeting, experts say banks benefiting from elevated interest rate environment. With some riders there, urge fiscal monetary authorities unity to tackle inflation pressures. Talking about inflation, you are increasing ATM charges here and there. Okay, Adeleke swears in newly elected Osun local government chairman. So fast. Okay, Seraph 6 court order to halt CBN's ATM fee increase. I hope they get to that. So many cases of Seraph in court. Okay, Nigeria's inflation declining after rebasing is cosmetic. This is coming from an analyst. Okay, let's take it again. Nigeria's inflation declining after rebasing is cosmetic. Analyst. And then by this side, we saw Lassa fever death toll rises to 80, outbreak spreads across 11 states. A stack of VCs governing councils affecting varsities development, says NAAT. Cross-carpeting undermines multi-party democracy. CUPP say, where has this CUPP been? Nigeria will happen to everybody. Okay, let's go.
Did you see the story there at the mast? Federal government saving $25 million daily following recent reforms. That's coming from the presidency.
Oh, really?
You know, $25 million daily. So I wonder when you save such money, where does it go? Because it's not reflecting.
Maybe they will start offsetting
it's not reflecting in the economy.
And
now telcos are warning of network blackout in 2 states over diesel.
Which
shortage.
paper are you? Which paper is that?
Independent.
Okay.
The Daily Independent.
Okay.
So let's see what we have on the Daily Times this morning. And we have Murik slams IBB for blaming others, absorbs itself. Wow. Says he's responsible for Nigeria's woes. Well, debatable. NAF airstrike kills 23 bandits in Zamfara State.
That's Daily Times. We're on Daily Times newspaper. And
then we have the mast of the Daily Times. We have Tinubu, minister threatens to dump APC, gives reason. 2027 presidential ticket, not a do or die affair for me. That's coming from Peter Obi. And then we have Boko Haram, ISWAP fights dirty as scores die. Are they not dirty already? So how else would they have fought? WFP, AFDP partner FG to tackle acute hunger in Nigeria. NNPP alleges 300 million bribery to destabilize party. Wow. That's interesting.
Okay. Okay, we'll move on to the Nation newspaper. The Nation newspaper, not too much to talk about because the front page is hugely occupied. So, but the story there says, banks target 2 trillion naira fresh capital in Q2. And up here, Council Paul Adeleke breached oath of office, says APC. When is another party, you breach oath. Okay, and then how states can boost tax revenue by Oyedele. Government raises compensation payments on Lagos-Calabar Highway. Is that's contrast going on?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is.
Okay, let's look at Guardian.
And the Guardian is telling us a journey in service. Afterthought of the Maradona, says critics, as IBB shares June 12 blame. Really good enough. You have Nigerians may lose $200 billion FDIs, 600,000 jobs. Nasima warns federal government taxes on free trade zones. And then we have 1966 school. Ohaneze demands apology, 10 trillion compensation to Igbo. And then we have Pope as mild kidney failure remains in critical condition, says Vatican. And then concerns as Adeleke swears in newly elected council chairman and councillors. 2027, APC wants Tinubu of Southeast a risk as El Rufai seeks alliance to rescue Nigeria. Lagos, Ogun to experience poor telephone services amid police New Pen stand off. And that's all we have. And then we are saying congratulations here, His Excellency Dr. Lucky Ayedatiwa, that's this governor of Ondo State. That's what we have for you. Next is the
Daily Trust. How federal government spent $8 billion to support Naira. This is coming from Rowan. With some riders there, Nigerians yet to feel impact of rebasing inflection. It is not true. Presidency, CBN, MEON, other stories coming from here. Minister threatens to leave APC over Kanu chairmanship. And then we have over 600 billion worth of petrol in store. This is coming from Dangote. At how much? You know, that's what we should be asking. We're not talking about the availability now, but the cost. Nigeria records 80 deaths from Lassa fever in 1 week. Which place? Which state? Why we toppled Buhari? This is coming from IBB. Okay, how Derek and the hypnotized killed students in Kwara. Okay, North needs to align with a South to rescue Nigeria. This is coming from El-Rufai. He has started his political jogging. Okay, after inauguration, Adeleke asked local government chairs to stay away from offices. Jesus, Nigerian politics.
And then the Tribune, Nigerian Tribune newspaper is up next for review this morning. Proposed taxes on free trade zone. And that's the banner headline on the Nigerian Tribune. $200 billion foreign investment may leave Nigeria. Nasima wants, says over 600,000 jobs at risk. Gunmen attack church, shoot pastor, abduct 6 worshippers in Delta State. And then we have Ogun to benefit as world's largest protein producer invest 52 billion naira in Nigeria. 5 killed, 4 wounded in Edo over cocoa. Fresh controversy over return of Obi as PDP South leader. Ramadan, consumer goods stock surges by 6.6%. How we gathered eggheads to manage Nigeria's economy. That's coming from IBB. Names Aboyede, Nzimoro, Ola Omolaye, Mabonje, and then Okongu, Falaye, Kalu to top economists, technocrats applied, tapped for economic agenda. Adeleke, that was the governor of Osun State, swears in 30 local government chairmen.
Go on. Take the last one. Blueprint. The
blueprint is the last but not the least paper for review this morning. And then we have the tension in Osun as defiant Adeleke swears in local government chairs and councillors, tells them to stay off secretariats, release allocation to only reinstated chairman. APC urges federal government. Beware of Wild West, Makinde warns. Ayedatiwa dumps Akeredolu's redeemed agenda, opt for our ease. Nigeria saves $20 million daily from fuel subsidy removal. That's coming from Oyedele. Says current tax system not conducive. Federal government China signed $7.6 billion clean energy deal. And then we have fresh controversy over return of Obi as PDP South leader. That's all that we have for you on the pages of the newspaper that we've just reviewed this morning. Everything still points. The one that really is of interest to me right now is the 600 billion naira worth of fuel in Dangote store. I don't know what the government is doing in order to alleviate. And then we have 2 states.
Are we having fuel scarcity?
No, we are not. Oh. But then I'm sure that Dangote's fuel definitely will be cheaper.
Who says?
No, it will be.
Is it going to say 500 naira?
No. From the analysis that were done, Nigeria.
It has been selling now.
NNPC.
Has it not been selling?
But not as much as you ought to have been selling. NNPC is selling for, I think, 945. Dangote is selling for 920 something. That's in Lagos anyway. And now talking about the service providers telling us that shortage of diesel might affect subscribers in Lagos and Ogun. So imagine businesses, what will happen to businesses in that, corridor of industrialization that we have between Lagos and Ogun State.
Why is there a shortage of gas?
I really don't know. Not just for telecom providers, what of the companies, the business, heavy industries that are there that need diesel in order to power their plants and make
some of these excuses are what they bring up when they want to do something. So start watching out now. Tomorrow they will say that it has increased because of shortage of gas. We are increasing our tariff or whatever. Just leave these people. We are their business empire. So and then go. Let's look at what's going on in these two big political parties, APC, PDP clash as El-Rufai who's opposition parties. Who is this El-Rufai?
The giant.
Is he a giant or evil genius?
No, the giant. That is what is popularly known as in Kaduna.
I know what he did in 2003, the way he wrestled power from the PDP to APC when they formed that alliance that took over power from Jonathan to Buhari. And now he's going back to PDP and trying to form alliance with the North, trying to propagate the North, forming alliance with the South, not even South too. He says South.
No, the question you asked,
okay,
what is
power?
Yeah, what is his problem? That's the question.
Which problem is a politician, Nigerian politician?
That's what I'm saying now. So that's what I'm saying. So Nigerians should be careful and ask, what is in it for Nigerians?
He doesn't have any problem. His problem is that...
What is in it for Nigerians?
The problem is that our politicians don't have ideologies. So they go where they feel, where they are relevant, where they would benefit. That's all. APC has made him very relevant. So he wants to move to another party to become relevant. That's just it. This is Nigerian politician for you.
He's not doing this for the interest of...
Which Nigeria?
It's just so unfortunate, you understand? When you read on the pages of dailies and you begin to see, wow, here comes somebody that has our interest here, trying to see if he can wrestle power from the incumbent government and then save the masses, because, sincerely speaking, we are not brilliant.
Don't go there first. I want us to look at the permutation, basically, AJ. Okay? They joined the North and the West to wrestle power from the South. Okay, because Jonathan was in power then, maybe South, the whole of the South, stroke part of the North. Now he wants to join North again to the South to wrestle power from the West. Okay, I remember all the things that he said when they were gearing up for the 2023 election. Okay, how they are going to join forces to build Kaduna, build Kano, build Lagos, develop the West and the North, and then leaving the South out of Nigeria. If they want to go, let them. If we want to succeed, let them say. If you hear what came out of this guy's mouth, okay, and now he is re-engineering. I want to see how the politicians in the South will look at this. Whether it's going to be acceptable for them, knowing fully well the kind of game that he plays.
Sincerely speaking, like you rightly said earlier on, when Nigerian politicians, you understand, come up with schemes like this, most times and all the times, 9 out of 10, it always ends in their own favor. Their permutation is all about what do I get when I wrestle power from the incumbent and the rest of it all. Nobody puts pictures Nigeria in the fold. Nobody thinks about Nigeria. Nobody thinks about the infrastructural, the educational system, security, and the rest of it all. Everybody just wants to be in power. And it's just so unfortunate that in Nigeria, our politicians have already taken politics to be one of the highest paying jobs, whereby nobody thinks about how he can. Now, El-Rufai has been in government for God knows how long, 60 years or thereabout, you know, from BBD to down to Bureau of Public Privatization and the rest of it all, down to FCT, down to Kaduna State Governor. What legacy?
He has been around. He has been around.
What legacy?
Before we talk about his legacy, if he has any, I want us to see the place of the Southeast in the whole permutation. Before it was 2023 was North and West. Now it is North and South, South. So
Southeast will always be the pond that will be used.
Don't worry about these people. We know how to go about them. These are the problems. So we'll get this
over the
we
years.
Can always run over
the years, we've had issues that without the Southeast, we can still win, so long this alliance can form between the North and the West. And sincerely speaking, demographically, that permutation is totally wrong.
I think so.
Very, very wrong. It's totally wrong because the Nigerian system has redesigned geography. Because in my cardinal point as a geography student, while I was in school, there's nothing like North Central in your cardinal point. Where did we get all this permutation? Where did we coin all this things from?
Everything is possible in
North
Nigeria.
Central, North West, and the rest of it all.
It's Nigeria
It's just
made.
North, South, East, West.
Nigeria made.
So that is it. So this Nigeria made analogy is what they are using to confuse the electorate, making you feel that you are less in number and they are high in
You are
number.
less important.
You understand? So that is it. Until we come to the table and then address that narrative and change
What
that.
are you doing? What are the Southeast politicians doing?
The way Nigeria is even structured, even the build of Nigeria, the way it is structured, that thing is just divided into 4. North, East, West, you understand, South. And that's just it.
Okay, but what I'm saying, in a situation like this, whereby you know that this is the way Nigerian politics is being played, what is the Southeast politicians doing? Who are you planning to align with? Why are you making yourself irrelevant? Anywhere, anything goes, whatever, let them align. Wherever they go, we'll follow them. That is exactly what we are doing to ourselves. Okay? Why don't you start your own permutation? Let us align with this, align with that, and see if you can build our own block.
It's unfortunate.
And then become very relevant that you can't do without this block.
Yeah,
it's
unfortunate we don't have such, Igbo politicians in our fold. Sincerely speaking, the whole Nigerian setup has swallowed the politicians from this side of the divide. You can remember when your former governor of Abia State was crying on national TV at the Senate chamber talking about how he was used and then dumped when he had to be his turn this time around for the Southeast to emerge as the first candidate for the Senate president in this dispensation. That's to make you understand the ridicule that we've actually made ourselves.
All these guys are betrayers. So when you betray your own brother, what do you expect the outsiders to look at you?
Exactly. Others are looking and saying that, okay, politically, this is how to deal with these people. They don't have a common stance.
Settle him, he will sell his brothers.
They don't have a common stance.
That's
so let's just keep. That's why you won't see any major talk about this. But when you talk
when they even come, assuming they say, okay, it's your turn now, let's one of you come out and take it. Who will agree for the other to go?
That is the issue.
Okay, let's for want of time, let's also look at this IBB that is trending now. Okay, what is it called? A time in service. What did it?
Yeah, a time in service.
Okay. But we'll take it from here. This day newspaper where he said, IBB, we overthrew Buhari Idiabo because of their holier than thou attitude. What does that mean?
The meaning that these guys were acting like angels, whereas they were nothing close to it. You understand? And then you came in and brought what Nigerians never expected. You understand? When Naira was at 80 kobo. Within your stay, we rose down to 17 Naira per dollar from something that was at 80 kobo per dollar. Before you left, it was more than that. And now the Abacha that you're laying the blame on, you spent 8 years in power as Abacha spent barely half, a little bit above half of what you spent in power. And he was able to bring stability to the ruins, you understand, that you had already infested, placed on Nigerians. Talking about your $12 billion oil windfall that couldn't even be accounted for. Now you're telling us that the money actually went where and God knows what.
Okay. Okay. I think we are running past our time, please. Let's upload it to the next segment where we're going to look at the memo launch and the key takeaways from this IBB book launch. AJ.
Well, that's how we're going to be wrapping this segment on Press Review this lovely morning. Don't go anywhere because the next segment, which is the discussion segment, is actually loaded and we have a whole lot to play out for you. And then our guests will definitely touch more light on IBB's book, Journey in Service, and let's see what we really have for this young man. I guess I'll be getting a copy of that book so that I can really read it. And
45K.
Yeah, 45K. I think it should be worth it.
Okay.
Based on the fact that this young man.
If you're not going to get annoyed and tear it and set it on fire. Okay, that's all for Press Review. We'll see you in the jiffy, please.